Hello, everyone. Welcome to this year's Game Developers' Choice Awards. If you don't know me, hi, I'm Alana, and I am unbelievably honored to be your host this evening. But I have to admit, sort of a bummer of a year to have been asked to celebrate the games industry, for no particular reason. Mostly the record layoffs, though, so it's been great. It's honestly a really tough year to have had to write this speech. I mean, people in this room have lost their jobs. People who attend GDC every year have had to cancel this year because being here at all is sort of an extravagant luxury that's difficult to commit to when you don't know when your next paycheck is coming. We've lost people with years of experience who worked hard to make some of the games that have been nominated tonight, but more importantly, we've watched our friends get laid off. We've seen how it impacts their families, their children, sorry, I mean, I love the company. All companies. The stock market is actually the best thing to happen to video games. Okay, that was close. But really, it's impossible to have the awards this year without acknowledging the immense talent that we've lost and the people who dedicated their lives to this industry that it effectively spat out because stock market arrow must only go up. Okay, that one was fine. In saying that, the honest framing here is that we're here tonight to celebrate those people, to celebrate all of the teams who work hard to bring people all over the world genuinely some of the most memorable, enjoyable experiences of their lives. Thank you. My life is better because of all of you. Now, this is never how you want to start a sentence. Thank you. But I heard on Reddit that despite all of this, game devs are actually all very lazy and money hungry. They don't even really play video games. They hate games, in fact. If you're a programmer in this room and you chose to work in the video game industry for any reason other than because you love them, how's that plan working out for you? I don't know about you guys, but I personally chose to work in the games industry for the notorious job security or the work-life balance. I'm joking. It was for the unanimous and endless Twitter praise. They love me over there. Sometimes I wonder if we deserve it, though, because video games are like clearly abominations, like God didn't want them to exist. At any moment during development, 100 things are broken all at once, and the only logical conclusion is that they aren't supposed to exist. They are demons. We claw from the code as an affront to nature, and somehow they eventually come out like completely against their own will. They're trying so hard not to get made, to do anything they possibly can to prevent creation, and we go, yeah, the next 5 years of my life, and see about that, you fucking punk. And then here they are. You cannot convince me that Baldur's Gate 3 or any of tonight's nominees are anything other than a defiant miracle against God. Which leads me to our first award of the evening, Best Technology. In spite of everything games do to defy their own development, these nominees have excelled in making systems, procedures, and tech that blew us out of the water in 2023. It's a job that anyone who doesn't do it can't possibly understand, and is simultaneously one of the most important parts of the whole development process. Here are the nominees for Best Technology.
Best Technology. The nominees for Best Technology are Alan Wake 2, developed by Remedy Entertainment, published by Epic Games, Antti Kerminen, Tatu Aalto, and Sami Hakkarainen. Baldur's Gate 3, developed and published by Larian Studios. Marvel's Spider-Man 2, developed by Insomniac Games, published by Sony Interactive Entertainment.
I have another name for you, Craven.
Starfield, developed by Bethesda Game Studios, published by Bethesda Softworks. The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, developed and published by Nintendo.
And the winner is The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom.
The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom has a lot of mechanics packed into it, like being able to freely attach objects to each other or being able to pass through the ceiling anywhere. And there's a lot of mechanics that, these are ones that if you're, as a developer, even if it did cross your mind, you might be a little hesitant to implement because it's just a lot of work. But in the end, the temptation to actually do this and the thought that this might bring surprise and delight to players won over beyond the concerns of the challenge that we would be facing. And I'm extremely happy to have received this award in response to the decision we've made to take on that challenge. So on behalf of the development team, thank you very much for this honor.
Games are an interactive medium. That means that there is rarely, if ever, a substitute for good gameplay. And at the heart of gameplay, there is always design. Design is often the exercise of setting constraints. It's the art of funneling the player's attention towards goals and decisions that feel meaningful, engaging, and satisfying. Good design has the ability to get inside the player's head, to make them see new and exciting possibilities, and to create a deep and rewarding experience that leaves players itching for that coveted one more go. Great design is always something that should be celebrated. And on that note, here are the nominees that have demonstrated exceptional design during the last year.
Best Design. The nominees for Best Design are Baldur's Gate 3, developed and published by Larian Studios. Cocoon, developed by Geometric Interactive, published by Annapurna Interactive. Jeppe Karlsson, Martin Festerholt, Asger Kierkemann Strandberg. Dredge, developed by Black Salt Games, published by Team 17. Alex Ritchie, Joel Mason, Nadia Thorne, and Michael Bastians. Hi-Fi Rush, developed by Tango Gameworks, published by Bethesda Softworks. John Johannes, Masaaki Yamada, Yuji Nakamura. The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom, developed and published by Nintendo.
And the winner is Baldur's Gate 3.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nick. First of all, I would like to say that it is a great privilege and honor to represent Larian work today here and to be recognized by our peers. But it is feeling very lonely up here alone. So I would like you to jog your imagination a little bit, and I would like you to imagine 450 people standing behind me. They would be standing from one side to another about 5 rows deep. So that is our studio. Design might be somewhere in my title, but at Larian Studios, everybody contributes to this design. From Canada to Malaysia, people from all kinds of backgrounds contribute ideas and inspiration to what is Baldur's Gate 3 today. I always delight in how our creative director and founder, Sven Vinke, finds something that he has never seen and knew about in our game for the first time. It's amazing. Somebody sneaked in something. Like, dinosaurs! Why are there dinosaurs in this game? Well, life finds a way. So it's a lot of people, right, that you're imagining, but Baldur's Gate 3 was not made in one day, and arguably it was not made in 6 years either. The ideas and the philosophy of Larian design have been developed for over 20 years, stretching back, way back into this game called Divine Divinity. An underappreciated gem, and I can gush about this game because I didn't contribute to it, because I was in middle school at the time. Something else we played in middle school around that time was a really exciting new RPG, revolutionary, and it was called Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. And folks who worked on it, without their work, I wouldn't be here, we wouldn't be here. There would be no Jahira, Minsk, and Baalspawn Saga. So they belong here on this stage. And this brings us to the elephant in the room, because we're talking about design in Baldur's Gate 3, and it's a D&D game. So, of course, I want to shout out lovely folks at Wizards of the Coast, the creators of Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, and all of the other editions before them, all the way back to Sir Gary Gygax, who started this whole thing 50 years ago. 50 years. That's around the time our creative director and founder Sven Vinke was born. Coincidence? Butterfly effect? We'll never know. We'll never know. So by now, the whole stage is full of people, right? You can imagine this giant crowd, but this is all just professionals working on this game. But there is still a big crowd of people that I would like to thank for their direct contribution to the design of Baldur's Gate 3. And these people would not fit on this stage. They would not fit even in this room. And I'm talking about our community. I love our community. They've been with us through a lot, through COVID lockdowns, through 3 years of early access. They've been inspiring us. Every time we ship anything, we go online and we go like, so what do they say? Do you like it? Is it bad? Is it horrible? I love the memes. I love the fan art. I love the Reddit posts that you have to scroll through to read the whole thing, where they go with painful precision into how much better we could do. And so being a designer on Baldur's Gate 3 was a bit like being a rogue. So you have to stay very quiet, and you have to sneak around this giant crowd of extremely creative people, and you have to listen very carefully to what they have to say. And you have to steal, synthesize everybody's ideas into your own ideas. Ta-da. So I hope that young and future designers are watching this, or maybe they don't know anything about us, but that they will synthesize our ideas for their future creations. Go Rogues! Thank you so much.
I think he might have to give that speech a few more times tonight. Our next award is always one of my favorites. We've established that again, despite what Reddit told me, and they are experts, so maybe I'm wrong here. Making games is pretty tough. Making your first game as a brand new studio is even tougher. Anyone who manages to release a game is a hero in my books, but these particular heroes did it for the first time in 2023, and what a start they had. Here are the nominees for Best Debut.
Best Debut. The nominees for Best Debut are Cocoon, developed by Geometric Interactive, published by Annapurna Interactive, Jeppe Carlsen, Jakob Schmidt, and Erwin Koh. Dave the Diver, developed and published by Mint Rocket, Jae-Hoo Wang, Chan-Yi Wu, Bu-Song So, and Andrew Kim. Dredge, developed by Black Salt Games, published by Team 17, Nadia Thorne, Joel Mason, Alex Ritchie, and Michael Bastions. Vanba, developed and published by Visai Games, Abi, Sam Elkanah, Shorin Khan, Tatsuya Morita Ahad. Viewfinder, developed by Sad Owl Studios, published by Thunderful Publishing.
Unbelievable lineup. Those were their first games. It's absolutely nuts. The winner is Venba.
Hi again. Really nice to win this award again. I often, during making Venba, my favorite Tamil movie director, Vetrimaran, he would often say, the more local you are, the more international you become. I think Benba is a very, very local story. And I'm really, really happy that it's resonated with so many of you. Thank you so much.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Rami Ismail.
And I'm Osama Dorius.
And since 2021, the two of us have a games podcast called The Habibis, together with our third member, our dear Habibi, Fawzi Mesmar. And we wanted to explain to you for a moment why we agree with all of our games industry peers that chose Fawzi as the 2024 recipient of the Game Developers' Choice Ambassador Award. When I started in games development, I was not aware of any other Arab game developers. I'd simply never met one, nor had I ever seen an Arab name in the credits of any game. As I was growing up, I'd seen more Chris's and John's in the code department of a single video game than I'd seen Arab credit lines in my entire lifetime.
I've been making games my entire life, from card games and board games when I was 9 years old, to eventually learning how to make games in Flash in my teens. But I had never considered a career in video games until I saw another Arab become a game designer.
And that makes the dream of making games feel impossible for kids like us, because surely if it was possible, I'd have heard of other people with names like ours doing it. So with that in mind, it feels deeply remarkable to be standing here tonight as an Iraqi and an Egyptian to celebrate a Jordanian's efforts to make the global games industry a better place. Through my own career, I've come to believe that one of the greatest acts of resistance of our stereotype as Arabs and Middle Eastern people being the bad people, that one of the greatest acts of resistance that we have against primarily being represented as cannon fodder and bombing targets, that one of the greatest acts of resistance that we have against these horrors that are playing out in real life, day after day, in our lands, in our region, to our people, in Gaza, one of the greatest acts of resistance we have as minorities against this dehumanization is simply to exist loudly. That one of the greatest acts of resistance as a minority in any space is to thrive.
And boy, has Fawzi been thriving. From his humble roots, being a part of the very first game development team in Jordan, to working on so many incredible games, including a Mario game. Not many of us can say that we've worked on a Mario game.
I will never forget Fawzi's excitement at getting to work at a Mario game. But that's not what we're here to celebrate. The Game Developers' Choice Awards define the Ambassador Awards as honoring an individual or individuals who have helped the games industry advance to a better place, either through facilitating a better game community from within, or by reaching outside the industry to be an advocate for video games and help further our art.
And who better to commemorate with this award than the very person who literally wrote the book on video games in Arabic. The first and only comprehensive Arabic language resource, bringing our beloved craft to an entire segment of the human population for whom that knowledge was completely out of reach. Fawzi actually had to invent new Arabic words to describe game design ideas and concepts that simply don't exist in Arabic. As the Arabic proverb goes, إن تحدثت إلى رجل بلغته يفهمها ستصل إلى رأسه وإذا تحدثت إليه بلغته ستصل إلى قلبه. If you talk to someone in a language that they understand, it will reach their head. But if you talk to them in their own language, it will reach their heart.
And in the many languages he speaks, Fawzi has been a mentor, a teacher, an advocate, an ambassador to the medium, and to the people that make games in every country he's worked in. And mind you, Fawzi's journey in games has taken him from Jordan to New Zealand, from Japan to Sweden, but in every country he's lived in or visited, you'll find stories of Fawzi's kindness, his energy, his humility, and his generosity. Over the past decades, he has turned from a kid realizing that someone, somewhere around the world, actually created the games he played, and dreaming of having that job, into someone who not only worked on games in every segment of the games industry, but someone who helps others achieve those very dreams, no matter where they are.
And if that wasn't enough, and let's be clear, that's more than enough, Fawzi has a superpower. It's actually true. It is physically impossible to take a bad picture of Fawzi. And believe me, I've tried. Every snap you take results in a GQ magazine cover photo. And if you don't believe me, follow him on Instagram and see for yourself.
It's true, Fawzi, Habibi, you are distressingly photogenic. As a games industry colleague, thank you for your boundless efforts and unrelenting work in making games a more inclusive space. As your friend, thank you for your thoughtful kindness and genuine generosity. And as a fellow Arab, shukran for existing and for thriving. Alf Mabruk, ya Fawzi.
We love you, Habibi. So please join us in welcoming to the stage, Fawzi Mesmar!
Masal khair. Hello. There were a lot of examples contrary to the photogenic myths that those guys are talking about. I can't tell you guys how surreal it is to be here, to be recognized by my peers. Standing on the stage today is a moment I wouldn't have even dreamed of. First time I attended these awards, I was 22 years old, and I sat all the way in the back with my boss at the time, George Shomali. And I do remember that there was a column right there in front of us. I couldn't see the main stage. And I was watching the show mostly through the big screens. Shout out to everybody behind that column right now. And I do remember I was so in awe, and I'm thinking to myself, look at all these real game developers. Like, they all seem to know each other, they're joking around, and they're doing a lot of inspiring things and acknowledging each other's achievements. It would be great if I too can be a real game developer one day. Next to me on the floor was a box filled with like 360 demos of a game that we were working on in Jordan at the time. And it's the one that George and we've been pitching to publishers back-to-back 30-minute meetings for the 3-day leading to the ceremony. And as far as I know, that game was probably one of the first console games to be made in the Middle East. And though I've been making games for like 5 years at the time, and I've made several firsts with my friends and comrades back home, I didn't think it amounted to much because I didn't see myself as a game developer. It's hard to do so when there weren't that many people that looked like me or precedents of someone Arab that made it, for me to imagine that I can make it too. And it pains me that there's a lot of people that look a lot like me and talk like me, born not so far from where I was born, that will never see the light of day and realize their dreams. The struggle of my people has been passed down to me for generations, but the hope of a peaceful future where everybody lives in freedom and dignity is what powers me to show up every day and be the best that I can be. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for my brother Firas, who is the best of humanity in one person and has been my rock. You being here means the world to me. I love you, little bro. I also dedicate this award to my family, especially my late father and late grandfather, who both instilled in me the love of education and helping others. I grew up wanting to be the best version of both of them. My dad reading my book in Arabic and kind of getting what I do for a living for the first time is a moment of pride that will stay with me forever. Rest in peace, Dad. Thank you for everything. My sisters, Soha and Misho, I love you both, and I'm so proud of you. Thank you to my dear friends Khalid, Ala, Salim, Ruba, Afonso, Valeria, Yak, and Eric, and to my friends who are joining me here tonight. I love you all. Everything good that has ever happened to me was because someone took a chance on me. Someone believed that I was a real game developer and I could do the job. And there's so many of them that I want to thank, and I will do my best. Thank you, Khashashna brothers, Khalili brothers, Adnan, Samir Abbas, Osama Hussein, Siddaria Tarawna, Yasser Abu Thuraya, Ziad, Wajdi, Joseph, and George Shomali for believing in me and for allowing me to be part of your history-making journeys. And for the many that have worked together with me making games when everybody else thought that we are out of our minds. Asmat and Zena, thank you so much for being part of that journey and for being here tonight. Thank you, Jerome, Gustav, Clelia, Trevor, and the rest of my New Zealand crew. You're amongst the first game developers that I've ever got to work with. And we had the time of our lives doing some crazy stuff. Thank you for always sticking by my side when things were rough and for being a family for me when I was far from home. Gustav, thank you for being here. I love you like a brother. And I need to take a moment to thank my mentor, Hiromasa Iwasaki. Hiro, I will always look up to you. Your impact on the Japanese games industry is evident on all of our colleagues. Your mentorship and friendship and unrelenting support, as well as your personal career journey, is nothing short of inspiring. Iwasaki-sensei, kansha moshiagemasu. And now to several of my bosses, to Yves Gilmore, Maï Sophie, David Soliani, Ahmed Salama, and the rest of the global creative crew, to Oscar Gabrielson, Vidar, Johannes, Lars, and Robert, and the other guys at DICE, Philip, Duncan, George, Shudolf, Abigail, and Seb, Humam, and the many other leaders. Thank you for putting your trust in me. To the incredible design teams that I had this absolute honor and privilege to service, the hundreds of you across the world in Ubisoft, EA, ABK, Inesh, Atlas, Gameloft. I'm inspired by your passion and the work that you do every day is so inspiring for me. I am forever proud of the games we ship together. To my students around the globe, I am so honored, and I hope I honored you by pushing you in the right direction. And I'm always overjoyed and proud to welcome you to our industry as peers. Rami and Osama, I love you guys. Thank you for being an inspiration for me and many others. For the Habibis and the Habibatis out there, I hope your WhatsApp group filled with stream of flower pictures this evening. So if you're sitting out there tonight and you can't see the stage because of that stupid column in front of you, know that you belong here. And if you're going through some hard times or have gone through some hard times as a developer, you belong here. I urge you that no matter where you are in your career or in your life, that you will take a chance on others, that you will help them with whatever you can afford to, no matter how little, because it will make somebody believe that they're a real game developer too. Shukran jazilan. Thank you very, very much.
Three of the most wholesome people I know. It's like hard to come up on stage after those three. Huge congratulations again to Fawzi, and thank you to Rami and Osama. Our next award is currently more precious than ever. To everyone who is nominated in this category or works in this field, I like you so much more than I've ever liked a single robot. And I say that knowing they're going to cancel me for it in 10 years. But I don't think you really realize how impressive the games industry's artists are until you request something, and then the art team comes back and it's 10 times cooler than your brain could ever have imagined. Genuinely, every artist I work with makes me feel like I've never seen anything. A potent mixture of awe and just comparative inadequacy. We don't deserve our artists, but I'm so thankful we have them. Please stay. Here are the nominees for Best Visual Art.
Best Visual Art. The nominees for Best Visual Art are Alan Wake 2, developed by Remedy Entertainment, published by Epic Games, Jana Pulkkinen, and Ansi Mata. Cocoon, developed by Geometric Interactive, published by Annapurna Interactive, Erwin Koh, Miki Starowska, Mikkel Svensson, Jakob Agerholm Jonsson. Final Fantasy XVI. Developed and published by Square Enix. Naoki Yoshida, Hiroshi Takai, and Hiroshi Minagawa. Hi-Fi Rush. Developed by Tango Gameworks. Published by Bethesda Softworks. Kosuke Tanaka, Kaita Sakai, and Yun M. Watanabe. The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. Developed and published by Nintendo.
And the winner is Alan Wake 2.
Good evening. Congratulations to all the other nominees. Everybody did excellent work, but we're very happy to win. Accepting this on behalf of our esteemed, lovable art director, Janne Pulkkinen, and the entire team back home in Finland. And not just the art team, but the entire dev team, everybody at Remedy, and of course, the fabulous Northlight Engine and Tools team that enables us to put all those lovely pixels on the screen. So thank you for them as well. Kyle, do you have some magical words?
No, thank you. No, honestly, the Remedy team are amazing. Janne Pulkkinen, as you mentioned, Anssi Mata. Like, we've done a lot of live action work in this game, and trying to find the visual identity using live action and blending it inside the game engine was something that we really pushed hard on, and he was a key part of that, so I just want to thank him too. And as Thomas said, like the whole art team, Nazareno, lead environment artist, John, lead character artist, Ron, hard service artist, Damian, lighting artist, Johannes, VFX artist, all of the artists at Remedy, you're amazing. Love working with you, thank you.
I also want to give a shout out that everybody has had incredibly powerful and excellent speeches, so it had to end at some point, but thank you.
Narrative is the glue that holds a project together. The context and framing, the characters and worlds that transform a good game into something transcendent. This past year, unfortunately, the most common narrative brought to us by the games industry is that making fantastic games requires layoffs and the destruction of human lives. The story is not only cruel, it is definitively, improvably false. Far more necessary and true stories can be found in games themselves, like the titles built by this year's incredible nominees.
Narrative. The nominees for Best Narrative are Alan Wake 2, developed by Remedy Entertainment, published by Epic Games, Sam Lake, Clay Murphy, and Simon Rassalin. Baldur's Gate 3, developed and published by Larian Studios. Marvel's Spider-Man 2, developed by Insomniac Games, published by Sony Interactive Entertainment.
What you took from me.
The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, developed and published by Nintendo.
Link, you are our final hope.
Vanba, developed and published by Visai Games. Abi,
And the winner is Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh, wow. So I thought Jason, our cinematic director, was going to pick up this award, so I didn't prepare anything. And as a matter of fact, I'm doing a talk tomorrow, so I didn't prepare anything for anything else. So I hope we're not winning anything anymore. Because otherwise it's going to be really painful. I was walking here and I said, you got to do something in case you win something, and I didn't have anything. And then the speeches here have been so good and basically stole all of my thunder of the things I wanted to talk about. So about stopping war and about stopping the greed, which has been fucking this thing up for so long, ever since I started, ever since, I've been fighting with publishers my entire life, so it's like, and I keep on seeing, I keep on seeing the same mistakes over and over and over, and it's always the quarterly profits. The only thing that matters is the numbers, and then you fire everybody, and then like next year you're going to see, shit, I'm out of developers, and you're going to start hiring people again, and then you do acquisitions, and then you put them in the same loop again, and it's just been broken and broken and broken. You don't have to. You just can make reserves, slow down a little bit, slow down on the greed, be resilient, take care of the people, don't lose the institutional knowledge that's been built up in all of those people that you lose every single time, so that you have to go through the same cycle over and over and over. So, because it really pisses me off. Anyway, thank you. Yeah, so I do have to talk about the narrative, though. The narrative of Baldur's Gate 3 has been a very complex process to create. It is a collaboration of an incredible amount of people, going from the writers, obviously, to the cinematic team, to the scripters, to the QA team giving us feedback, all the way to our players telling us like what we did wrong and why Shadowheart should say this thing and not say that thing. And so it is that collaboration and the sheer pursuit of trying to get players to really immerse themselves that made the narrative of Baldur's Gate 3 possible. It took us a very, very long time. I hope it never is going to take so long again, because it was really long. But this is incredibly appreciated. We worked very, very hard on this, so I know that the team back home and sitting here is going to be thrilled with this award, which is appreciated by its peers. So thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Back when I lived here in San Francisco, I used to play this game where I'd go on a walk until I overheard at least one tech word being used in conversation, like a tech buzzword. Synergy, disruption, distributed cloud, automation, agile, multi-experience. I still don't know what that means. Then Pokemon Go came out, and my walks were much more about catching Pikachus with different little hats, and that was way better. But the next award is for something that sounds like a buzzword, and frankly is in a lot of app development, but in the games industry, which is still incredibly new in the grand scheme of entertainment media, it genuinely has the power to shape every game that comes next. These are the games that have the power, the innovation, to shape our medium, to inspire other studios, to challenge what we think of when we think of video games. It's so much more than Pikachu in a cute little hat. Here are the nominees for Best Innovation.
Innovation. The nominees for the Innovation Award are Baldur's Gate 3, developed and published by Larian Studios. Cocoon, developed by Geometric Interactive, published by Annapurna Interactive. Jeppe Karlsson, Jakob Schmidt, and Mikkel Svensson. Hi-Fi Rush, developed by Tango Gameworks, published by Bethesda Softworks. John Johannes, Yuji Nakamura, Kaito Sakai, and Shuichi Kobori. The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, developed and published by Nintendo. The Making of Karateka, developed and published by Digital Eclipse. Chris Kohler, Mike Micah, Bao Calvin Vu.
And the winner is The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom.
We believe that providing players with surprise and delight requires innovation. And because of that, we're overjoyed to receive this award as a recognition of that. And in Legends of Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, the word innovation has another meaning. This is because the game was built with the intent and desire to not only provide innovation, but also embrace the innovative gameplay by players. And it really is the combination of the player's innovative gameplay that really completes the game experience. So on behalf of the development team, thank you very much for this award.
Good evening, everyone. Every year, the teams at Game Developer and GDC work in tandem to document and memorialize those in our community who have passed away. Tonight, I invite you to share in our process with 3 simple words. Tell their stories. Telling stories about those we've lost is more than just a matter of record keeping. It's a ritual that shows they are still a part of our community. We can tell their stories through our words, our deeds, and even our art. We may leave an in-game monument for players to find. We may think of their favorite color when painting a landscape. We might name a character in their honor. We remember the lessons they left us with and share them with those in our lives who need them most. So tonight, if there's someone you wish to honor, someone who isn't here with us anymore, all you have to do is tell their story.
Break them out once or twice a year when things get tough. Play them again. Remind yourself why you're excited, why you are here.
Thank you.
There's no way to transition out of that. That isn't a little sad, so let's just do it. Into our next award. This one was voted for by all of you specifically. The people in this very room or walking the halls of GDC this week. We don't technically have nominees because all the titles are eligible for this year's Audience Award. And the winner is Baldur's Gate 3.
Wow, thank you everybody for voting for us. There's a whole lot of you who played our game, and I'm so happy that it resonated with so many of you. So thank you very, very much for voting for us. The publishing team in Larian we're a small bunch, and we need all of you to keep talking about our games. So thank you very much.
Finally a mic that's my size. Yay! All right, let's be honest here. Right now, we all need a little bit of light. And luckily for us, we work in an industry that can provide that light for each other and for those that enjoy the stories we tell all over the world through impactful games that leave a lasting impression. For this year's Social Impact Award, we're celebrating those games that go above and beyond to put a little light back into the world in an effort to make it just a little bit better of a place for all, which is important. And no, it's not just about making a snazzy tweet here and there, but actually putting a genuine foot forward through breathtaking gaming experiences that make a loud and proud difference for the better. So which game said, "The beacons are lit, Gondor calls for aid"? The nominees for the Social Impact Award are...
Social Impact. The nominees for the Social Impact Award are A Space for the Unbound, developed by Mojican Studio, published by Toge Productions. Dimas Nofan Delfiano, Eka Pramodita Muharam, Elwin Lysander, and Brigitte Reina. Assassin's Creed Mirage, developed by Ubisoft Bordeaux, published by Ubisoft, Stéphane Boudot, Jean-Luc Salot, Sarah Beaulieu, and Raphael Wayland. Baldur's Gate 3, developed and published by Larian Studios. Terra Nil, developed by Free Lives, published by Devolver Digital. Jonathan Hao Yun and Sam Alfred. Vanba, developed and published by Basai Games. Abi, Sam Elkana, Sharin Khan, and Tatsuya Morita Ahad.
And the winner is... Zenba.
Genuinely running out of things to say at this point, but when I first had the idea for Venba, I texted my friend Sam, the artist on the game, and he really liked it, and it was just that spark that started the whole game. I had a really, really hard time getting Venba published or funded, but once again, it was the audience reacting to the trailer and all the materials we put out that helped us make it proper and show that there is a market for this game. I think when your game gets funded, people look at something that's similar to it, but as soon as you start tracking the market, you fall behind it. So it doesn't give space for something that's new or interesting. So that being said, I think for Venba specifically, when I pitched the idea to Sharon, she said this is the kind of game that might make people call their moms after they finish playing it. And that happened a lot, but it also led way to, it was this weird new genre where it's a game you play with your mom, and that's not something we ever expected, and you can't expect these kind of reactions or predict for it. So you just have to stay true to the story you want to tell. Yeah, Sharon, I'm tired of speaking. Do you want to say something?
Thank you.
Speaking as a composer, the single most difficult thing is to write music that is essentially instantly recognizable. When we're lucky, we do so once, maybe, in our career, and in those instances, it usually feels like it happened essentially by accident. But tonight's honoree proves that some people simply just have a gift for this and can manage this rare feat repeatedly over a long and storied career. Yoko Shimomura has worked on a massively eclectic range of games, from classics like Street Fighter II, Super Mario RPG, Parasite Eve, Legend of Mana, and more recent games like Xenoblade Chronicles, Final Fantasy XV, and Mario + Rabbids Sparks of Hope. In addition to an incredible video game portfolio, she has performed in bands, her work's been celebrated by major orchestras throughout the world, and she has lent her music and talents to charity recordings. Her contribution to the game industry and music communities alike are indicative of a spirit that is both bold and generous. Shimomura-san was born in Japan and played piano from a very young age, eventually composing her own music. She attended the Osaka College of Music, and upon graduation, because she loved gaming, decided to send samples of her work to various video game companies. Capcom invited her for her first audition and interview, and despite this being a not particularly popular choice among her family and instructors, who shared that all too common feeling that games were a trivial waste of time for someone of her talent, Shimomura-san remained focused. The doors that opened not only set her on the remarkable career path that we celebrate today, but indeed led to the creation of music that we are all the better for having experienced. So please help me welcome to the stage the 2024 Game Developers' Choice Awards Lifetime Achievement Award winner, Yoko Shimomura.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Yoko Shimomura. Thank you so much.
Wow, I'm really nervous right now. Good evening, everyone. It is truly an honor to be here today to accept this prestigious award. Thank you all so much. It's actually been more than 30 years since I was last in San Francisco. San Francisco was actually the first place I visited outside of Japan, and I'm honored to be back here today to accept this Lifetime Achievement Award. 36 years ago, when I first began working as a composer, I was an ordinary young woman who loved music and playing video games. While I was able to achieve my goal of becoming a game composer, I was soon confronted with a very difficult period of my life. I didn't really understand how to compose game music or how to compose music in general. During these tough times, I would cry to myself every day, overcome by feelings of depression and hopelessness. I felt weighted down by my lack of ability. Maybe I just wasn't cut out to be a game composer. What had I gotten myself into by choosing to pursue game music? I would often say to myself, that's it, I'm quitting tomorrow. However, for some reason, I couldn't bring myself to quit. The tough times continued, but at a certain point, I rediscovered something about myself that I had lost track of. Music was my passion, and I made the choice to become a game composer. If for whatever reason my career as a composer wasn't meant to last forever, I wanted to at least tough it out until I shipped one game for the NES. From that point, my outlook slowly began to change. Finally, that day came. My first game shipped. Sure, it wasn't a runaway success, but I was personally very satisfied at having made it to the finish line. And then it hit me. I now wanted to release one more soundtrack. After that soundtrack, the same feeling came back. Once again, I wanted to do one more game soundtrack. Just one more time, and again, and again, and again. And to this day, the cycle has continued. This is the Yoko Shimomura standing before you today.
Arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you so much.
Music has the ability to heal people and give them the strength to live. But it can also have a darker and more cruel side to it as well. When I'm in a creative rut and experiencing severe writer's block, those feelings of uselessness resurface. There are times when I just want to throw music in the trash and run away from it all, despite the fact that I love music so much. However, music also gets me through difficult times. It almost feels like a one-sided love affair, like something I want so badly but just can't have. When I think that music might be looking right at me, I try to meet its gaze, only for it to quickly look away in another direction. But I know deep down that music is never too far away. Music is always a one-sided love affair. While this sounds counterintuitive, it's actually what allows me to continue composing music. I was able to embark on the path I chose for myself as a game composer thanks to everybody who has been there for me, including my parents, mentors, colleagues, friends, family, and all who have supported me and my work. I couldn't have made it onto this stage all by myself. It's thanks to having so many supporters that I stand before you here today. In closing, I would like to express my utmost gratitude to everyone I've ever had the privilege of being involved with. I also want to thank everyone who has enjoyed the games I've composed for, and also to those who have listened to their soundtracks. From the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. I hope and pray that the game industry continues to evolve and all gamers in the world live prosperous lives. I hope my music can provide color, even if just a little bit, in all of your lives. It has been an honor to greet you all tonight. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Yoko. Unbelievably well deserved. We only have 2 awards left, everyone. Look at us go. I kept it pretty quick, at least faster than a Baldur's Gate 3 Bear Sex speedrun. Probably, I don't know, that game's like 150 hours minimum, which, flawless segue incoming, is a lot of audio. Our final award tonight, before Game of the Year, is Best Audio. These are the games that delighted, terrified, enticed, or assisted us all through sound. It's one of those things that's so often underappreciated because if it's done well, it's seamless and organic and it sucks you in almost like nothing else can. But tonight, we're appreciating it. Here are the nominees for Best Audio.
Best Audio. The nominees for Best Audio are Baldur's Gate 3, developed and published by Larian Studios. Hi-Fi Rush, developed by Tango Gameworks, published by Bethesda Softworks, Shuichi Kobori, Makoto Yamaguchi, and Masatoshi Yanagi. Marvel's Spider-Man 2, developed by Insomniac Games, published by Sony Interactive Entertainment.
You want to join us?
The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, developed and published by Nintendo. Ranba, developed and published by Visai Games. Alpha Something and Neha Patel.
And the winner is Hi-Fi Rush.
All right, I should not be accepting this award. I'm accepting this on behalf of the fantastic audio team we have at Tango Gameworks, specifically Kobori-san, who's our audio director, Yamaguchi-san, who's our lead sound designer, Yanagi-san and Uratani-san, and also the Glass Pyramids, who helped us make the streamer mode soundtrack. And again, thank you to all the artists who contributed their works so we can have this fun experience. To me, this award is not just about the music, it's about all of the audio design. And I pitched this game going back to my roots of, I like to play live music, and there's a very visceral feeling that you got when playing music live that is very hard to describe for people who never experienced it. And I wanted to give people that ability to do so, even if they were not musically able to do so. And so we tried really hard. It was an extreme effort to get teams who never knew what a quarter note was or a beat was to finally make animations to that stuff. And to be recognized for that is unbelievably rewarding. So thank you for everyone who voted for us. So thank you so much.
Alrighty, everyone, we are at the final award of the night, the big one. And this was such a competitive year for this. 2023 had so many incredible games, genuinely one of the best years in the history of the medium. So to anyone who released anything in 2023, whether you were nominated or not, congratulations, and thank you again. Without further delay, here are the nominees for Game of the Year.
Game of the Year. The nominees for Game of the Year are Baldur's Gate 3, developed and published by Larian Studios. Cocoon, developed by Geometric Interactive, published by Annapurna Interactive, Jeppe Carlsen, Jakob Schmidt, and Erwin Koh. Dave the Diver, developed and published by Mint Rocket, Jae-Hoon Hung, Chan-Hee Woo, Woo Song Seo, and Kyop Chung. Dredge, developed by Black Salt Games, published by Team 17, Joel Mason, Alex Ritchie, Nadia Thorne, and Michael Bastians. Marvel's Spider-Man 2, developed by Insomniac Games, published by Sony Interactive Entertainment.
I know I can snap him out of this! We can fight this together!
The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, developed and published by Nintendo.
Link.
And the winner is Baldur's Gate 3.
I'll wait for the gang. So the bad news is the speech writing has not progressed, so... and I really, I need to thank over 2,000 people who worked on this, other than these fantastic people and the 450 people within Larian. I'm always afraid if I do that, I'm going to have to wrap it up. We've been in a cave for a very long time. You can maybe see it, working on Baldur's Gate 3, and coming here, and really in the last months, as we've been getting rewards for the work that the team has been doing, we had a lot of people come to us and tell us how much the game meant to them and how it changed their lives. And just walking here in San Francisco, there were so many people that came to me, which is sometimes problematic, but it's been incredible to hear players' experiences. And I think that is the biggest reward of them all, is to hear from your players that they're having so much fun, what it means to them. And I think all of you have that when you make your game, and you get players that come to you and tell you, hey, that really meant something, or that gave me a moment, and that was at the time that I needed it, you were there. I think it's the biggest reward of all, biggest reward of all of them for game developers. And so you should thank all of yourselves for creating that and giving that to the players. And we are just but an example of what you are all doing together. So thank you very much. It's an incredible honor to be standing here. I never thought we were going to be here getting this award when we were making this game, because I thought people were going to hate us for making it, because it was such a legacy. I do want to thank all our partners that work together with us, together with the team. And yeah, I didn't prepare a speech so you can notice, so thank you. And until, yeah, thank you, I guess.
Didn't prepare a speech, this guy. That is it for this year's Game Developers' Choice Awards, everybody. I've tried to keep my part in this pretty short because you guys don't need to hear from me. And frankly, there are a lot of people who say a lot of things in the games industry, like for some reason we know what every AAA game studio thinks of abortion, but everybody's very quiet about the genocide happening halfway across the world right now. Despite being an industry that knowingly has profited quite tremendously from brown people being shot in video games. I don't know what the fuck we're doing. So. All of that said, a huge congratulations to everybody who is nominated, to all of our winners, and to everybody else for the absolute pleasure of getting to experience all of these incredible games this year. It's a very brutal time for our industry as well. The thousands of people who had any hand in making any of these games a reality truly excelled. I'm just so glad and maybe a little sad that you've chosen to spend your time in an industry that probably doesn't deserve you. It's happened again, hasn't it? Come on. I've been your host, Alana Pierce. Thank you so much to everybody who presented up here tonight and to all of you for coming. Have a great night, everyone. We'll see you next year.